This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
I'm not nearly as negative as you are. I mean, up next, we got the Steiner brothers versus Sting and Lex for the tag titles.
Yep.
They show a video before the match began, and I still remember the song of that video, even all these years later. I love this match. I think this is like a dream scenario. If you were a 10-year-old kid like I was, this is about as cool as it got, man. I didn't like the obligatory ref bump. I didn't love that Nikita Koloff ran in to hit Luger with a chain because, as a reminder, Luger is the U.S. champ here. But still, you've got two big babyface teams that we all love, and normally that doesn't make a good match. But this is a 4.5 star. Meltzer says it was a non-finish that took a lot away from what was one of the best matches of the year. But 4.5 stars, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
This is a great match. 11 minutes and 8 seconds. If you're going to watch one match on this show, I say make it this one.
This is the one. I agree. And those guys did a hell of a job, especially with the layout as it was, the two babyface teams. People are so amazed and invested in the Steiners. The Steiners are so big at that era, and they could have been so featured. And the eventual, you build and build Doom and build and build and build, and 6 months or so, and you finally got that Doom Steiners match. It would have meant entirely differently than it was when it happened. And we had those great matches with about a year later. If my memory serves me correctly, Conrad, was when we brought in Dr. Death and Terry Gordy.
Right.
That was the deal where the Steiners were chopping up the bits. They were so ready to work with those guys, and Doc and Gordy were so ready to work with the Steiners. It was right down there at their wheelhouse. So I just, I don't know. I would have thought that I would have put Steiners over without a DQ. If you want a heel to come screw Luger, who's Luger's next opponent's going to be, fine. But why the DQ? Again, it's a cheap non-finish, and I don't know how much it forwarded the stories. It would have forwarded the stories a lot more if individual like Nikita as a heel, which is tepid at best, because people loved him as a babyface after Magnum's accident. I don't know. I think that it was it's one of those deals where you make talent happy. Did we do the right thing? I don't think so. I would have had, you need the heel to come in and intervene and affect Luger, cause Luger to lose by 1, 2, 3. I get it. That's an easier story for the announcers to tell. It's an easier story for the audience to comprehend and process. But we went the other route, the easy way out of making everybody happy with the DQ. And I don't know how the talents could really be happy with it, because it adversely affected their match, even though it got 4.5 stars. It was the best match on this show. And that's kind of pretty much what I judge my enjoyment of this show, because the best match on this show should have been Fujinami and Nate, in my view. But it wasn't on this night. And some of those other matches that you mentioned, anyway, it was a hell of a wrestling match. And I agree with Conrad. If you're going to back and watch one match off this show, that's the one you want to see.
Let's keep it going. Oh, I do want to mention, get your take, I guess. Meltzer said Sting was the MVP of this show. You agree?
Oh, I'm not sure what he based that on. But he was booked. He was booked uniquely. So hey, look, was it as good? Would that be as good an answer as anybody else that we can think of so far? Probably. But same old booking logic. Well, he's our hot guy. We're going to go with him, and we got big plans, et cetera, et cetera. So he doesn't need to be him being on the losing team is tenuous. Why? It creates an emotion, a definitive emotion. It doesn't affect the emotion of the emotion becoming half-ass or convenient booking. And that's kind of what I looked at it as. The finish was unnecessary in that tag match. But did Sting have a good night? Yeah, he had a great night. But he was healthy, and he knew he was upwardly mobile. He was going to do some great things. But I'm not sure what Meltzer bases that on, Conrad, but it's plausible. He was right.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.